experience is defined as a moment lived, a feeling remembered, something that changes you. Our thoughts have patterns. Our choices leave traces. And Mindbender knows how to find them. Get ready to question everything inside the experience. A performance that rewrites what you believe is possible and redefines what a magic show can be. Mindbender, Canada's master of mentalism, has bent thousands of minds across the country and proven that mentalism isn't about tricks. It's about knowing people better than they know themselves. Experience an evening of interactive mentalism where your decisions shape the outcome. You're not just watching the story, you're part of it. This isn't just a show, it's an experience.
Everybody, welcome back to the 30 Minutes of Fame podcast. Today I've got another very talented guest, Jordan from the Mindbender Experience, currently on a world tour and going to be coming pretty close to my little town here, so I'm pretty excited to have him on. 15 years experience as a magician and mental work. Made a little stop on Canada's Got Talent, which we'll talk about. And hey, welcome to my show.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
So you were inspired to get into this from, I was reading an article you did with a newspaper, and you had a lot of bullying when you were young because of a learning disability. So talk
Correct.
about that and how you went from that to starting magic, and what age was all that?
Yeah, so that all started in around grade 4. I had a learning disability. I was diagnosed with my learning disability in grade 4, and I needed an outlet. And the bullying, because of the learning disability, started all of it. And at the time, learning disabilities weren't as common as they are now. So even my own school didn't know exactly what it was, how to deal with it. And as the bullying kept going, because I kept on getting pulled out of class or doing grade 1 math books in a grade 4 class, they pulled me out of school completely for a while. And to distract me, my mom turned on Criss Angel's Mind Freak, and I would watch hours of that a day. It wasn't the magic that attracted me to becoming a magician. It was the fact that for the first time in my life, I saw Criss Angel wanting to be around people. People wanted to see Criss. Criss was making people happy and smiling, and I never got to experience that. So I picked up a deck of cards and I tried to do magic, but nothing worked. And then fast forward that exact Christmas holiday, we went to a place called the Ontario Science Center, because my mom thought, well, if I take you to the Science Center, maybe we can teach you more about science, hands-on. And there was a magician doing a show there. It was the very first day of the Christmas break. He was doing 2 shows a day. His name is Baldini. And I saw the first show and I fell in love with him. I begged my mom to take me to the second show, which she did. Then I begged my mom to take me back the next day, the next day, the next day. The next day, I saw all 7 of Baldini's shows. And what I loved so much was Baldini then took me under his wing, and I got to learn how magic actually works, because I started doing magic lessons with him every single Friday. The real magic trick is the very first trick I ever learned. Made all the bullying disappear, as cliche as it sounded. And I instantly was that friend that people wanted to bring to the parties. People wanted to hang out with on recess, because I was making stuff disappearing and reappearing, and I was reading people's minds, and that was never seen before in a school. So the real magic trick is, making all the hard part of my life disappear.
That's crazy, man. I'm a huge Criss Angel fan. I used to watch that show back in the day, and he's still going. He's still doing.
He's the man. He's the man. And fast forward, I got to work with him in 2013, and he's the nicest dude out there. And we did, I think it was Mind Freak or one of his shows, and it was fantastic. He's a legend. Great show.
Yeah, he's doing some show. I saw a clip online last week. He was doing his magic while Alice Cooper was performing live behind him. That must be.
Yes,
that's crazy.
Yes.
That was my first concert I ever saw. Was Alice Cooper and Motorhead.
Alice Cooper, yeah.
So
this new Vegas show of Alice Cooper and Angel is blowing up, and it's a fantastic show. It's such a great show. So
Well, it's two
very
very
grateful for that.
similar. I don't know. Alice Cooper's shows. I've seen him about 8 times live, but it's
Oh
like
wow.
like a theater show, right? Like he's
Hmm.
the giant things walking around, and every song is a skit. It's really cool. It's really,
Yeah,
and he's up
yeah,
there. Like he's got to be in his 70s at least too, right?
yeah. But I've seen the footage of him and doing age. He looks great. He's killing it. He's for his age.
So you've done a lot of. I've lived in Toronto for 10 years, so I've got to
Oh
ask,
wow. Okay.
what's harder, escaping from a straitjacket or a strain, or escaping Toronto traffic?
Toronto traffic, I have given up on. I don't escape that anymore. I don't even go to the city. I can't do it. I have no patience for it. But yeah, it's getting bad. So then that's the next magic trick. Copperfield is rumored to make the moon disappear. I am going to make the traffic disappear in Toronto one
Well,
day.
yeah, I used to work right downtown Toronto, and I lived in
Yeah.
Etobicoke, but I managed to. I had to do the underground subway trip every day and then connect them. It
Oh,
took me like an hour and a half each way, and
yeah. Yeah. I was visiting a buddy in Toronto. I had a show in Toronto, so I visited him before. His house is 6 minutes from my gig, but it was an hour and 15-minute drive.
wow.
I swear. So it's a great city.
So I was watching a clip with a story about somehow you ended up performing magic at Michael Jackson's house.
Yes,
What
sir.
what the
Yes.
heck? How did that
my
happen?
journey my journey is just these stories are just going to get weirder. Okay. Yeah, we were in California for vacation, and my mom was a huge fan, and I talk about I have a whole thing in my show about the time I spent at Michael Jackson's house. But basically my mom tried to jump the fence to get into Michael Jackson's house. This is a true story, and got caught by the security guard, and basically my mom took bail herself out, said, "My son's a magician, let him do magic for you." And we didn't know this, but Michael Jackson had a personal magician named
Oh,
Majestic Magnificent, who was living on the property at the time because he represents the Jackson family. So he was on the property, and he came out and saw me, and we have a lot in common. He has a friend who you may know, Corey Haim, who's a very famous actor, who's buried beside my grandfather. And Corey and Majestic were great, great friends. But Majestic was Muhammad Ali's personal magician. Muhammad Ali loved magic. And Muhammad Ali introduced Majestic to Michael Jackson. And Michael Jackson then hired Majestic to live with him and be his personal magician for like 25 years, the last 25 years or so of Michael's life, learning magic, teaching Michael magic, and whenever Michael wanted magic, Majestic would do it. And Majestic ended up going on and representing the Jackson family for a lot of things and stuff like that. But that's where I got invited to come back the next day to the house. And I did my very first show in the living room where the Jackson Five would practice all their dancing, were off the wall when Thriller was made. I wrote my very first show in that exact studio.
wow.
So, and I performed it for all the staff and crew. It was very weird. It was just a overwhelming experience. It's one that I don't really remember being there because just the aura of Michael Jackson was so strong. But looking back at the photos, it was just such a culture shock. It was so unreal. There would be a giraffe walking by, and so
Wow, that's pretty wild. So you're also a bit of a comedian, I hear. So what's it
Mhm.
harder to do? Make people laugh or make people be impressed by magic? Like, or you combine the
Definitely
two
make
quite a
people
bit?
laugh. I do combine the two. I do magic comedy, which means the magic does have comedy in it, family friendly comedy or crowd work, if you will. But definitely comedy. Like I've been playing around in comedy clubs. I don't usually do comedy clubs, but recently, because I have a buddy of mine who's doing a comedy club tour across the world, and I've been jumping on a few of his bills and stuff, and I've been having fun with it. Definitely harder. At least the thing with magic is if a joke fails, I can pull out a magic trick and I have a backup. Well, comedians don't have that, but definitely stand up comedy. So that's why I like to mix the comedy and magic.
No, I had a magician on my show maybe about 6 or 7 months ago, and I guess he had an assistant who was his wife. And when they were doing the thing with the box and putting the knives in, he accidentally stabbed her in the shoulder, and she actually had to go to the
Mhm.
hospital. So,
Yeah.
what's the worst thing like that that's ever happened to you during a show?
Mm. Luckily, on stage, I knock on wood have been okay. But there was a stunt I did called the sword roulette stunt. I did this when I was younger, and but I say that for a reason, because there's no way in hell anyone would pay me to do that stunt now. When you're younger, you just have no fear, whatever. And the idea was I'd have six swords hanging above me, and I'd lay in a star position with four pairs of handcuffs on each hand and then each leg. And the six swords would be connected to 12 pieces of wire, but no one knows which sword is connected with which wire, and all the wires are numbered 1 to 12. And every 60 seconds, I'd have a time to escape. And if I don't escape in 60 seconds, an audience member would come up and choose a wire to cut. Either it's a fake wire, nothing falls, or a sword falls. So to say the least, and I built it by hand, and it was lopsided. It was on rope, on string rather. We were doing everything at that age to make a show work. Which is so funny is every time a sword did drop during rehearsals, it would always be in a different spot because it was balanced. It wasn't equal or anything. But during the show, what happened was I didn't escape from my leg, and a sword dropped. And there's footage of it. If my handcuff was one chain link smaller, the sword would have went right through my leg.
Wow.
One chain link smaller. So that was the closest. But when it comes to like the stage stuff, and especially now as an adult, I make sure everything is bulletproof, more just for the safety of my audience and my crew. Like, I wouldn't want someone to come to a show and feel feared or have something bad happen. For the most part, my shows are pretty safe. You might laugh to death, but that is.
So you're currently, well, you're going to be on a world tour. You're making 2 Canadian stops, one in my little town just down the street here, 20 minutes away.
Mm-hmm.
What's it like for you when you see like a packed house, going through that bullying and that shit when you're younger, and seeing, hey, these people want to come and see what I have to offer? That's got to make you feel amazing.
It's the most, I gotta tell you, man, it's the most overwhelming, humbling experience in the world. I had someone come to my show. They celebrated their bachelorette at my show. They bought 38 tickets, 2 limos. Um, I had the last show I did in Newfoundland a couple of weeks ago. The hotel owner came and knocked on my door and just said thank you. And I go, why? And he goes, 9 people booked rooms in this hotel just to see your show. There's
Wow.
people that put up babysitters for their kids. People make nights out of it, Ubers, taxis. That's the overwhelming part. When I hear that stuff after the show, it's humbling, and that's why I make it the most. Everybody gets the most unique experience. I take it very seriously. Make sure everyone knows that they're going to come and they're going to enjoy the night. We don't talk about politics. We don't talk about religion. We don't talk about current situations that are happening in the world. I really make sure that 2 hours you're in that theater, life stops, and we can just laugh and enjoy each other for one night. So that's my goal.
That's beautiful, man. You know what I love about it? Like, I've been to a few magic shows and live comedy shows, and my favorite thing is
Mm-hmm.
that people's phones are away and they're just enjoying the moment. Like when you're at a hockey game, you'll see people head down the front row, or the Blue Jays. It's kind of, everyone wants to talk about what they're doing. But when you're
Yeah.
at a show like this, or a magic show or live comedy where the phones are away and it's just a pure escape, and
Yes.
it's
Yes.
pretty powerful, especially in this day and
Mhm.
age.
No, for sure. And my shows bring in the seniors, the young ones, my age. Everyone is so diverse in the show. People come to the show that don't even speak English, because magic is a universal language, and it's amazing, right? We can just all enjoy something in a room together with a bunch of strangers. If you think about it like that, that's weird. But yeah.
Yeah. So you had an appearance on Canada's Got Talent. What was that
Mhm.
like?
Oh
I'm
yeah,
not gonna ask you if it's all scripted, because one of my last guests dispelled a lot about that on the American version, but he was the guest that was chosen to perform just because his connection with Sharon Osbourne. He's a little person Ozzy impersonator, and
I
he
know
got,
him.
yeah, little Ozzy,
Yeah,
great
Little
dude.
Ozzy.
Had him
Yeah,
on.
great audition, by the way.
Yeah,
That was 2009, I believe, because I did America's Got Talent not too long after that one. But yeah, Little Ozzy, great guy. I actually have Ozzy's platinum records on my wall. I'm a huge Ozzy fan. Yeah,
Nice.
I'll show you after the interview. But yes,
Okay.
yeah, I don't want to ruin the light or the. But
No.
yeah, that Little Ozzy audition, great audition. I remember it.
So what was it like being on there? Did you get to meet the judges?
Yes, yeah. So I did Canada's Got Talent, the original one. Now it's still going on, but it stopped for about 10 years. I did it in 2012. I had a clothing line called Mindbender's Clothing. When I was starting to do magic, there was a new social media platform that came out called Vine. It was basically like today's TikTok, 6 second videos. And I noticed for the very first time in the world is changing with technology. People were pulling out their phones and recording almost everything, like their Blackberries and stuff. And I wanted to capitalize on that. So I made a Vine account. And then I also made a clothing line with my logo being down here. So every time I did a card trick, people would record it and have my logo in the shot.
Hmm.
And I would never leave my house without wearing my merch. And that was like the goal. And because of that, I got asked to do Canada's Got Talent because one of the vines went viral. It was Martin Short. That was the big judge on the show at the time, who I loved because I have a huge love for comedy and stuff. And yeah, we made it through. I think it was like the top like 70 of all of Canada and stuff. And then the show got canceled. I'm technically still on the show because the show got canceled and I never got eliminated. So
There you go.
I'm still running. I'm still in the running. But
So if
yeah,
you're
man, it
watching this,
was fire.
please text Mindbender to 1866.
Yeah, can you imagine me
Let's
going
get
to
him
the
through the
finals?
finals, everybody.
Yes. Should just show up to the next Canada's Got Talent taping. Be like, "What? I'm still here." That'd be
That's
great.
funny, man. I had a Vine account. I remember that site. And I
Yeah.
also auditioned for a show called Pop Stars, which was like an American Idol ripoff. This was in Newfoundland,
Oh yeah,
my home
yeah,
province.
yeah.
And
I
I
just
got
did
up and I
Newfoundland.
sang Under the Bridge by the Red Hot Chili Peppers because they
Yeah.
had a list of 10 songs you were allowed to sing. And of course, they picked the best looking people and put them on for that part of the show. And
Yeah, yeah.
so I didn't make it. I was told I could have been a glove model. I don't know, these glove hands, but that was
Yeah.
my reality show experience.
Yeah, reality shows are crazy. Like they're a weird world of, entertainment. What part of Newfoundland are you from?
I lived all over. So I was born in Grand Falls in the middle, and then I lived in St. John's, Mount Pearl, every side of the province. My parents were
Okay.
they're ministers, so we used to try move every 3 years.
Oh wow, okay.
And
I just did Cowhead.
oh, Cowhead.
Yeah, and I honestly, I fucking loved it. It was so much fun. It was the theater was bigger than the population, but wow, what just a cool experience! Like just to drive, and the people were so nice and
Mhm.
genuine, and it was just great. I kissed the fish, that was fun, which was not on my bingo card. But yeah, love Newfoundland.
Did you get to taste the Newfie Screech with that codfish cake?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I did. Yes, I did. It was not fun. You never want to upset the locals, so whatever they ask you to do, you do. That's the rule.
See, I've never met anyone. I lived in Newfoundland 20 years of my life, and I've seen a lot of people get screeched some of that stuff, but I've never seen like we never drank it. It was just what we used to torture
Really? Yeah.
the tourists, right?
Yeah.
Let's just keep that stuff on a shelf and we'll pretend we drink it, and everyone will think we're nuts. And
Yeah, the bartender was hyping it up, and then he's like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, it's not that good." But yeah.
so, what's the strangest thing someone's come up and said to you after a show? Like, besides trying to tell you exactly how you did all your tricks?
Oh, well, this is a great story. Okay, I have a mentor in the magic business, and he's never seen my show live, but I've been mentored by him for 10 years. It's not Baldini, this is another guy. He's more of a script writer, so more mentor in that aspect, but I've gone to him for 10 years since I was little to help me script and write shows and stuff. And for so this was the first show after the pandemic, so I guess his schedule was not as crazy. So he actually ended up coming to one of my shows, and my mother was doing my front door tickets at the time. She's been fired since, but and I'll say why. I put his name on the door under his stage name. His name's Artemis, his stage name. And he comes to the front door. He goes, "Hi, my name is Ari," and his real name. And I go, and then my mom goes, "I'm sorry, you're not on the list." And Artemis goes, "Oh, trust me, I'm on the list. I've taught Mindbender for 10 years." And my mom goes, "How, you're not on the list?" He goes, Ari Soroka. And my mom drops her mouth like this. And then she gets up and gives him a big hug. They grew up together. She's my uncle that I had no idea about. So they're both, Ari's mom convinced my grandma to have a kid and they'll raise them together. Because my grandmother and Ari's mom were best friends. And I didn't know that until after the show. She goes, "Can you believe what just happened? Do you know I'm your uncle?" And I go, "No, that's not true. I thought they were pulling my leg." We were filming a documentary for this show, and there was cameras rolling in the lobby. And the reason why I fired my mom was because she was talking so much to him. You just see people just coming right in. No, no one was scanning a ticket. They were just coming right in. But that, I think, was the craziest thing. That was the craziest, and just shows how small this world really is.
That's wild. I had a guest on here from Newfoundland, and we talked. We did our episode, and at the end of it, we figured out we're related. And like,
No way.
yeah, it was
No
like my
way.
third cousin or something. Because my dad had like
Yeah.
15 people in his family, and but just yeah, we did the whole show. We did the episode, and at the end, we're like, wow, we're started naming off names and stuff, and we're like distantly related. So you never know who you're
Yeah,
talking to.
yeah, for sure. And I mean, like, it just happened in Newfoundland as well. I go to the bar across the street in Cowhead. Cowhead has a population of 250. And the bartender goes, "Jordan, great to see you again." And I go, "I'm so sorry. Do I know you from somewhere?" He goes, "Yeah, we worked on the cruise ships together." I was like, "What?" He was, and then oh, hey, he's the bartender on the cruise ship in Panama. Ends up in a population of 250, and I see him. So, yeah, the world's small, very small.
So what's the difference like between like a cruise ship crowd and like an actual venue for you? Like,
Hmm.
are
Great
people
question.
really paying attention on a cruise ship?
Yeah. Well, no. Well, yes and no. Cruise ships are fun because you go out on a beautiful 800-seat theater and you go, "Oh, I didn't have to do any promotion for this," like, because they're already all there. But it's different because you have everyone in different languages and different backgrounds. You have people that, if it's a port day where they're out on the port, they come back and they're exhausted, compared to a theater show. People are knowing they're going to come to this show. It's in their plans, it's in their schedule. They're, everything, they're ready for that. So, but other than that, no, cruise ships are also very fun because they're on vacation. So they're drinking, they're having a good time. So it's completely different. But I think the standard is a little higher for when they come to my show, just because they're buying tickets. They know, just go back to our conversation we had a few minutes ago. There are Ubers in place, there's babysitters in place, people are buying tickets and stuff. So it's a more of a standard when cruise ships are like, "Oh, what do you want to do today? Let's just pop by the theater and watch the show." So that's my theory.
Perfect. Well, man, I'm looking forward to this in July. We
Yeah.
don't get a lot of things like in my town is population 3,800, so we get like
Mm.
a comedian come once a year, or like lots of bingo or meat draws. That's about it. So we,
Yeah. Yeah.
the crowd there will be very captivated, I think, because we don't get a lot of those kind of things coming. Well, in Fort Macleod they do. They have the theater there with a lot of bands coming, folk music and stuff. But it's the first
Yeah.
time I've seen this kind of act, and I'm pretty excited. But we're
It's
gonna
going to
do
be fun.
a little something here. We haven't pre-planned anything for anyone watching this. Nothing is set up.
No, nothing. No, yeah.
And then I've got my one crazy question I ask at the end of all my episodes, and then we'll call it a show. So
Amazing.
the
Amazing.
floor is
Uh,
yours.
Perfect. Just to, yeah. So I want you to think of a card in your mind. Okay. Not out loud, in your mind. Now, in a deck of cards, you have the aces, you have the jack, the queens, the kings, and the jokers. Let's eliminate the jokers. We don't need those. I'll be honest, 99% of the people pick the aces. Most females pick the queen. And then it's kind of a toss up between the jack and the king. Those are what usually people pick. So let's eliminate those ones. You have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to think in your mind. Club, spade, diamond, or hearts. I want you to think of a card in your mind right now. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to change it or do you want to keep it?
No, I'm gonna leave it. I just wrote it down so I don't forget what I picked.
Amazing. It's been a long night. I have a deck of cards here. And in this deck of cards, there's one card in this deck facing the other way. We did not plan this at all. I want you, for this deck of cards, by the way, will not leave the site. I want you to name a card, the card that you're thinking.
You want me to name the card that I picked?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll show it.
The seven of diamonds, right?
Yes.
That's crazy. Because do you remember how I told you that I have a deck of cards here? And there's one card in this deck facing the other way?
No. Okay.
There you go.
Okay, you people, my hands were here. This is not edited. I even wrote it down. There it is. 7 of diamonds.
Happening at the Empress Theatre on July 17th. It's The Experience.
Beautiful. Yeah, everyone, I'll put the links down in the description to your Facebook and where everything you want in there and how to get tickets.
Yeah, the show is a family-friendly show. It's about a 2-hour show with an intermission in between, so 2 45-minute sets. The show has magic, family-friendly comedy, illusions, mentalism. It's a lot of crowd work. The show will also feature my attempt at Houdini's straitjacket escape and my infamous body bag escape, where I've imported 3 of the toughest prison restraints known to man. I'll be locked inside an airtight body bag, and I'll have to escape.
Wow. I'm really looking forward to your answer to this question as well.
Yeah.
At the end of every episode, I've had some pretty heavy stuff. I've had all kinds of heavy topics on here. But every show I end my episode with this question. It'll be interesting to get your perspective. But if you're ready, a 100-meter pigeon carrying contest. How many pigeons could you fit in your arms and still have left in your arms at the end of the 100-meter race?
How many pigeons I can have?
How many pigeons could you carry 100 meters and still have left over?
I'll tell you. 10. You want to know why?
Yes.
Because I'm a magician and I can make birds appear.
Well, that 10, that you could do like, my top answer was 250. So it depends how many you can make disappear while you're walking. That's an asterisk I got to think about, but that'll put you in about the top 20% out of my 100 guess.
Yeah, okay. It's also not something I was planning to do.
Yeah.
So you could always duplicate the birds. Have you ever seen the magician Doug Henning? He makes one bird into 2.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, everybody.
Thank you so much for having me.
If you're watching this, go check out all the links down there. Go pick up tickets. Come out to the show in Fort McLeod, or we'll put all your information there if you're anywhere. Because I have listeners in the UK and Philippines and everything. So you never know. But
I'm coming to the UK after this. Alberta's my last Canadian stop, and then we're going straight to Ireland, and then all over the rest of the UK.
Beautiful. So. All right, everyone, don't forget to say one nice thing to one person every day of this year. You don't know, you could change someone's life just with a bit of kindness.
Sure. For sure. Thank you.